We are the ERP. Wow! Another round of applause for Pidilo. You know why everybody asked me to be the last speaker? Because I'm the oldest vlogger. Must have senior citizen ma. After all, we are the main reason why they say the population may become 6.9 million. No lah, that's not the real reason. The real reason is because senior citizen cannot go under the hot sun. Insane how? So put the senior citizen as the last speaker, because by now the darkness has come. And that's why I'm here, that's why you're here. Because the darkness has come. The darkness of internet regulation. Singaporeans of my generation have been living in darkness for too long. When we read the news in my generation, we took it lock, stock and barrel. We don't ask questions. We only read the right things. We don't think. We don't ask questions. We don't ask discerning questions. We don't ask the questions that really matter. 没有人问啊，一针见血的问题啊。18 days ago, in 1987, May 21st, the big darkness came to Singapore. Because since then, the national conversation died. Like the tombstone that you have over there. It says, rest in peace, freedom of speech. In 1987, the big darkness came, the blackness came. Like the blackout that all the block sites had in protest 2 days ago. After 1987, even when people want to ask questions, they ask quietly by themselves in the mirror when they are at home. They dare not ask in public. Without a free internet, without bloggers, you know what's missing? What's missing is nobody is asking every day, ayah ini macam, ayah ini macam. Where is ayah ini macam? It means, how come like that? About a week ago, on the international news program, you heard someone say, oh, when Singaporeans read the news online, something like this lah, it is important that they read the right things. Because such thing as you must read the right things, or the not so right things, or the wrong things, or the not so wrong things. Why do you think you were born with a brain? Why do you think you go to school? So that when you read different things, you can decide and discern, ask questions, and figure out yourself how right or how wrong things are. Better still, if after listening to everything you are confused and you still cannot decide, it's even better. That's why we need to have a continuous national conversation. I'm going to give you some examples about some of the right things that probably you shouldn't be reading. When I came earlier, I went to that store there selling mineral water. Then I saw this thing where they were collecting the money when you buy the mineral water, no? You know what it says? Cheap as in, $2 only. I was so amused when I saw it. I could not stop laughing. So before you go home, you make sure you buy one mineral water, $2, as cheap as in. You go home, you don't drink this one, you know. You keep like antique. Every time your friend comes to your house, say, hey, look at this one. I bought this for $2 only, cheaper than AIM at Speaker's Corner. Nowhere else and no other time can you buy this one. Okay, somebody please help to bring this back, otherwise they got no thing to collect the $2. Hey, thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much. So, you already know lah. What is the first example of what you're not supposed to read or supposed to read that I'm going to talk about? It is the affair of the software and the $2 company. You spend about $24 million to make the software. Then you sell to your own $2 company for $140,000, and then you lease it back for 1 year. So actually you only sell for a few $1,000s. And then after that, you make another one. You pay another about 70 million, and you don't even own it. You have to lease. It's illogical, nonsensical. You know why they cannot own it? Actually, nobody knows, but I make a guess. You see, the whole story is, it's too cumbersome for 10 over entities to own the software, you know. So to sell to your own $2 company, so they own it. It's less cumbersome. And they can terminate 1 month notice because of boundary change also. So that's why you cannot own it. What other moronic company who do business will spend about 17 million to make a software and they say, I don't own it, I lease it. Of course, because if you do that, then pecah lubang. The story don't hold anymore. If you think this one is funny, I tell you some more. The whole story is, what year is this? 2013, right? The whole story is, in 2009, the consultant advised, the software is obsolete already. If the software is obsolete already in 2009, why do you have to wait more than 1.5 years before you sell the software to your $2 company, and your reason for selling is because the software is obsolete already? And then after that, you wait another more than 2 years to have a new tender to sell to get someone else to do another software. So altogether, the software already more than 4 years old. How long more before the new software is ready? Nobody knows. Maybe 5 years. So the software must be very, very, very obsolete already. A lot of my friends say, some people think Singaporeans are stupid. Are you stupid? I'm sure you're not stupid, but you know what's the problem? Without bloggers and a free internet, you may not get smarter by the day because don't have all these people to ask all these what we call tekong questions. Next example. Do you know that in ASEAN, among the ASEAN countries, Singapore's economic growth last year was one of the lowest? We had 1.3% economic growth last year. All the major ASEAN countries around us, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, all of them, the growth last year, more than 5%. You only 1.3. You know, our productivity growth, also one of the lowest. Last 5 years, every year, productivity growth, minus 0.4% per annum. Our real growth in the medium wage, also one of the lowest. Last 5 years, 4 years negative real wage growth. Last year also negative. The report just came out a few days ago. Only 1 year in 2010, your real wage growth was a miserable 0.5%. And on top of all this, your inflation one of the highest, 4.6% last year. Your household debt one of the highest at 74%. Household debt as a percentage of GDP, 74%, one of the highest in Q3 last year. You put all this together, if you go to school, you get this type of results. What type of grade will you get? F! 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 Do you think you will ever see a news headline in Singapore that says, Singapore, low growth, low wages, low productivity, high inflation, high household debt? Do you think you ever see a news headline like this ever? Not in my lifetime, I think. But maybe in your lifetime, and surely in your children's lifetime, provided we continue to have a free internet. Few days ago, you read the news. Sometimes you read the news in Singapore, like trying to figure out a jigsaw puzzle, you know. The news said, oh, Singapore students cannot enroll in international schools anymore. Then you read the news. Is it really Singapore students cannot enroll anymore? Cannot tell you. How many international students, how many students in international schools? Cannot tell you. I'm sure if you ask how many Singaporeans in the international school, also cannot tell you. Have quota or not? One say have, one say don't have. The one who's supposed to have say cannot tell you. What is the criteria to approve for Singaporeans to study in international school? Cannot tell you. Case by case. Suka-suka lah. That is the problem when you don't have freedom of speech. That's the, can someone bring the tombstone for me? How many of you have not seen the tombstone? Hello? Someone volunteer bring the tombstone for me. Very light one. When the bastion of learning in Singapore sets such a fine example for our young as to how not to be transparent, is it any wonder that we have so much non-transparency in Singapore? This is Roy, the man who crunches statistics every day. Roy, can you carry this up so everybody can see? RIP, freedom of speech, death by regulation, died in 2013. Read the right thing, killed by the right touch. Lightning don't come. Thank you, Roy. I think this one you can put down already. You know, even the NCMP go parliament and ask how many in total in the local universities, total enrollment of students are non-Singaporeans. Go reply but no answer. The answer is, oh, last time first year admission 20% foreigner. Now first year admission 16%. Never answer the NCMP question. He is asking on total all the students how many percent. I estimate about 40%. Why 40%? One student in the university say, hey, I saw online on my own university, there are 24% who are foreign students. This is undergraduate. Then what about the graduate students? You go and look at the graduate student data. You count. Actually, nobody knows because they don't break it down. You can only estimate, you can only guess. Count all the foreign students, undergraduate, graduate. Count all the PRs, undergraduate, graduate. I think it's about 40%. Find me another country where the university has about 40% of the students who are not citizens. I have 1 minute. Today is not Academy Awards. So you're not supposed to thank anybody. But there's one person I must thank. A few nights ago, the acting minister. Oh, I'm so grateful to him. He kept on saying, we encourage criticism of the government. We welcome criticism of the government. It's not for his encouragement. You think I have the courage today to come and say what I just said? Thank you, acting minister. And I think the acting minister is so good. He should not continue to be acting. He should be a full minister. Bloggers and the free internet are like honey badgers. Like honey badgers, because without them, you won't have so many people asking every day, Ayah ni macam, how come like that? Where's the motor yang? Antuan ni kuang. Thank you.